Hey guys, what's going on, my beautiful people? Will here, Flawless Crested Geckos, coming to you guys with another video, and it's Thursday, so we're coming to you with another one for the Diamond series. And again, we're gonna keep the pace, hopefully up, but man, my head is scrambling all over the place, thinking about the geckos and planning and the boys and Audra, thinking a little bit about everything. We got a little bit of worry going over here in the Flawless camp. You guys know, I mean, we've been dealing with a lot of devastation as far as like with the natural disaster, with the hurricane Helene, and now I know it's pretty normal to most parts of the United States, but we're getting ready for a snowstorm here down in South Carolina, and this part of I guess South Carolina, we don't really get a ton of snow. Actually, when they typically call for snow, they shut everything down before the snow even really hit the ground. The whole city kind of just shuts down. As of right now, like I said, it's Thursday. You know, they've been talking about it since Monday as far as canceling school for tomorrow, which will be Friday, and it's canceled. So school is canceled. You know, the boys, they wrestle. They have the area tournament where the top 6 wrestlers go on to the sectionals, and they canceled the area tournament for this entire area, so they're gonna have to reschedule that as well. The boys also play basketball. They have a basketball game this weekend. They canceled that. So anything and everything is canceled pretty much for this entire weekend for the pending snowstorm. So for us, it just makes me, you know, think, you know, especially being a perfectionist, trying to make sure we have all our ducks in a row, going through in my head, kind of figuring out, do we have enough extension cords? Do we have enough heaters? Do we, you know, running through all those types of things, the checks and balances of running a business, and making sure we're kind of crossing our T's and dotting our I's when it comes to all our safety measures for all of our animals, because they depend on us for their survival. That being said, I think we got everything covered for the most part. If you've been watching us for quite some time, we dealt with a lot of issues with Hurricane Helene. We believe we remedied a lot of those issues, and at that time it was dealing with heat, you know, in the hot season. So now we're in the cold season. I mean, it's sub 30 degrees, 31, 30 degrees outside. Water's freezing over. So we're gonna figure out, hopefully we'll cross our fingers, pray for us, guys. We're definitely putting prayers out there as well for anyone out there, excluding ourselves, that's having to deal with this as well. Hopefully you're mentally prepared as well as physically prepared to deal with whatever comes your way. We're trying to make sure that we're ready for whatever comes our way. That being said, again, I done talked us into a little Debbie Downer. Let's get back on a high note. The Diamond series. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Enigma. Enigma is a production from our Mardi Gras / confetti project. We're really pushing for the red base, and in this situation we actually have a girl that's a red base, more of a pinkish tone, but she's a white porthole with confetti Mardi Gras spots. So we believe we have 3 girls that all slightly resemble each other, but with this girl we held her back specifically because of her red portholing and also having the multicolor spots all over her. Is a prime candidate to kind of push us forward in areas where there's not a lot of availability out there if you go and look. Again, the projects you're working in, make sure you're serious about them, make sure you're passionate about them, and if you are, it becomes harder and harder for you to kind of really fine tune and find things that you need to add or sprinkle in here and there. But again, without further ado, let me show her off. Are you guys needing some assistance with your Crested Gecko breeding programs? Well, check out our Patreon. We've been running it here now for pretty much close to 2 years. Everyone's been extremely excited. We keep adding new perks every time you guys turn around. We give away Xanthics, we give away high whites, we give away lily whites. We actually upgraded this year to we're giving away over 12 geckos every single year. That averages out to at least a gecko a month, and we've been doing over that. So you are not going to want to miss becoming a part of the Flawless Crested Geckos Patreon family. There's two tiers. There's a $50 tier and there's a $100 tier. You get all your funds back in the form of Flawless Crested Gecko savings account. You can take advantage of having 5% additional off by being a Patreon member, as well as having year-round free shipping. You guys are not going to want to miss this, so go head over to patreon.com/Flawless Crested Geckos. So this is Enigma. Okay, she's produced in-house by us. She's absolutely stunning. I figured the best display of her was showing her fired down. Now, even fired up though, she doesn't get a super deep red. We believe she's also hypo. This is going to be our first breeding season, so we're probably going to figure out that, because red and pink undertones, hypo, not, phantom, portholing. We want to make sure that the genes that's being passed down to her, when we start looking at her offspring that she produces, because she's going to be paired with another red porthole, but it's going to be a non-confetti. So we're going to see what's the odds of her replicating herself. Generally speaking, without seeing the actual offspring and digging in and showing off the male that she's going to be bred to, generally speaking, if she's being bred to a non-confetti, non-Mardi Gras, but also a red-based porthole with no spots in the lineage at all, and it's a deep, rich red, a non-hypo male, but we don't know if that male is het hypo. So, kind of a little strategy that we approach. We breed that male to her, and from breeding that male to her, if we get all babies from that production with similar to the male's base tone, red, then she's most likely gonna be visual hypo, but still would take it even further for the seasons to come. We would just document all of it. But if he proves to be, for example, het hypo, and half the babies come out looking like her and half like him, it will prove him to be het hypo, and it will prove her to be visually hypo first year around. So it's like process of elimination when you're kind of testing some of your theories that you come up with. But she is absolutely gorgeous and coming in on her first season. Enigma. Do some really cool things with her. So that's Enigma. Hopefully you enjoy her. Hopefully you like her. Again, just kind of talked a little bit about genetics and trying to figure out things so it makes sense to you. Audra tends to kind of play around with Punnett squares and figuring out the actual algorithm or mathematical equations for certain combinations. And it also shows that, we have our lineage, we follow, we buy from, certain lineage, certain people, but you also can buy things that you just think impress you or see that impress you. You don't necessarily always need lineage. And that being said, even if you're a lineage junkie, because we tend to be a lineage junkie, but you can still buy extraordinary geckos that, don't come with lineage, or maybe the seller or breeder lost the lineage, whatever it may be, because again, this is a long man's game. You can always, prepare yourself, document everything you see, all the traits, all the morphs, all the expression that you see in that gecko. And for the long term, that second, third, fourth, fifth year of producing, possibility of offspring, photographing, documenting everything that you're experiencing with breeding that specific gecko and the pairings you're putting her or him in. and document what you're producing. What are you visually seeing? What's the productions coming out? That will now, you know, in the years to come, show you if it's het this, if it's visual that, if you're thinking that it's visual something, and now you've proved it out to be visual whatever, or you proved it out through breeding to be het for this. Again, this is all figuring these things out. You know, many more breeders than ourselves have done this over the years, way before we even got into the industry. This is the part of the doing the legwork. A lot of the times, you know, the legwork is already done for you, and that's great. But if the legwork is done for you or for us, now we're looking at, all right, this is awesome. This is a masterpiece, a part of my plan. I'm going to take it here. And sometimes the plans don't really pan out. We were talking with one of our Patreon members about Dalmatian lily whites. And I mean, 3-4 years into working that project, we quit on that project, that specific project. And now one of our Patreon members, Patriotic Exotics, I mean, he's already working hard on putting confetti spots on lily whites, and he's making significant progress. So all that means is, just because, even if it's coming from us, we like to give our experience and our personal opinion, but it's not the end all be all rule of thumb for anything. You know, there's room for everyone to kind of throw their hat in the ring, and long as it's not harming our animals or your animals, you can figure these things out. Well, there's some bylaws to this and things that you should not do. We get that and we understand that, but understand also, if it's not against any of that, you know, there's a lot of room in the industry for you to kind of chase your passion, your dreams, and want to create your dream animal, is what I'm trying to get through. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed Enigma. It's Will, Flawless Crested Geckos, and we out.